hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, I'm Mary. So welcome to the channel. I hope you'll stick around. So today I'm going to be talking about what it's like to go to school with CRPS. This was suggested to me on my Instagram by a girl called Caris. She's my friend. So go follow her on Instagram at Caris_VXX. So today I'm going to be talking about my personal experience with what the school did. So I can't say it will be the same for everyone, and I'm not saying that every school will treat it the same. But for me personally, this is just how it went. First thing is what the actual school did, and my school did a very good job at just generally making it easy for me. So at the time of diagnosis, my deputy had a daughter with CRPS. He left, unfortunately, so he sort of knew he kind of knew what was going to help. He sort of did things like letting me leave class if I needed to, which was very useful. He would just let me sit down in the office and not make me do any work or anything. And he would ask teachers not to ask me if I was okay, not pick on me if they thought that something was up. So that was very useful. He also let me stay inside while my class was doing PE, and that's definitely something I would recommend all of you. If you are newly diagnosed and you have to stay out of PE, ask to be able to stay inside, because otherwise you'll be sitting outside watching. So ask if you can sit in the library or in the office or something where you don't have to be outside doing nothing for a whole hour. So I personally got to sit in the library, and that's definitely something I would recommend asking your school if you're able to do. Another thing I want to talk about is how the students treat you when you're newly diagnosed, and actually up until now, a year and a half later. So all of my friends have been, for the most part, extremely supportive. They've had their moments, but none of them have really made a huge deal out of it or accused me or anything. My friends have been great, and honestly, I don't know what I'd do without them. They're amazing. It's the other people, the people who I'm not close with. Because CRPS is an invisible illness, I get called out faking quite a lot by pretty much the whole year and other years, and it's quite difficult to deal with because you can't really prove it. So it's hard to sort of get them to stop doing that, and I still haven't figured it out. So that's definitely something to be aware of, that people won't necessarily believe you, that humanity isn't perfect. So don't expect people to just get over it immediately and just believe you, because not everyone will. A quote that I like to think about whenever people sort of say I'm faking or say that I'm an inconvenience or whatever, something that I literally always have to remember, and I think you should remember this too, is those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. You just have to sort of ignore those people because they don't really matter. They're not your friends, and they're not the most important people. The ones who matter are your friends and family. So that's sort of something that I really need to remind myself sometimes. I want to talk about what it's like to just like walk around the corridors on your own, and like I was on crutches, so I had to take the lift at school. Luckily my school had a lift, so always like what I had to do was I always had to bring somebody else with me, just in case I would like fall over or anything, because I couldn't weight bear at all. And I would take the lift. I didn't get my own lift key. My school has like a locked lift, so yeah, I didn't get my own lift key. I had a lift pass, which everyone gets. I got a temporary injury lift pass, so that allowed me to take the lift whenever I needed to get anywhere. So that was very useful. And if your school doesn't have a lift, then especially like bring someone with you to help you get around on the stairs. If your CRPS doesn't affect you, it doesn't affect your legs or walking or anything, I would still recommend like bringing someone with you just in case you get hurt. Another thing that would happen in between classes, that I left class 5 minutes early, because I was a bit slower, and so that I could get the lift, and so that I wouldn't be like in the really crowded corridors where people would push you around and stuff. So I recommend that, if no matter where it affects you, leave 5 minutes early to avoid that rush of people. There were definitely teachers who didn't really like the fact that I left 5 minutes early, and sometimes they wouldn't let me. But if they did, I would always just tell a teacher who I could trust, and so it was all fine. Make sure that you trust someone, whether that be like a counsellor or your tutor or I don't know, school chaplain, whatever. Have a trusted adult in the school, because they could literally do so much to help you. So that was really good. I don't want anyone to think that this is like trying to complain about like how much rubbish I got from people at school. So like, don't think that. I know a lot of people from my school are actually watching because they found my Insta and therefore saw the account, saw the channel, and so that's fine. And now that I am off crutches, and you cannot tell that I have anything wrong with me from the outside, I now like don't get so much. As I said, my deputy had left, and therefore now I'm not allowed to leave class. I have to sit out and watch PE, and if I'm not doing it, but I can do it sometimes, depending on what it is. And like, I'm not allowed to do a lot of things that I had been given permission to last year, which is very, like, it's quite hard to deal with, but I guess it gives me a whole nother point of view that not everyone will have been given those things that I was. So I guess if living like with it and not getting as many benefits as I did, it's a lot harder. So if you can, ask like your tutor or your head of year or your head teacher, deputy head, office lady, whatever, ask somebody to allow you to do things, because like it's so much easier. In my school, if you're on crutches or had like a injury, you're allowed to skip the lunch queue. You're allowed to go straight through. and I'm not allowed to do that either. But if that's something that you would really benefit from, then like do that. So like ask. Don't be afraid to ask for things, because like it could really make your life so much easier. I think that's all I have to say for today. This was quite a long video. Remember guys, like I'll take your suggestions, so if you want me to cover anything specifically, leave a comment or DM me on my Instagram, and yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Bye!
To breathe, but that's alright. Hush.